Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. I'm Anna and I help you grow beautiful and healthy plants. In this video, we are going to propagate this string of hearts, variegated string of hearts. I'm going to show you 3 methods of how you can easily propagate this beautiful plant. And of course, I'm going also to tell you a little bit about care tips, how I grow them, where I grow them, what I do with them, the soil, watering, light, basically everything that you will need to know to grow this plant very successfully and very easily. Maybe you have seen my previous video about the string of hearts, not variegated one that I've already propagated, and I have, 3 pots. I think one of them is like 3 meters long. It's hanging from the ceiling. It's absolutely beautiful, and I always propagate and even sell some cuttings or swap some cuttings if you are in Germany, in Berlin. But I can also, of course, ship anywhere if you would like to. But now in this video, I'm going to show you how you can propagate this. And of course, you see here some pots. I'm going to also plant them here. So I have here plastic pots, which of course have many holes, and also some clay pots, terracotta pots that also have holes. This is very important for these plants because of course any plant needs to have a pot with holes, but especially these ones, which are like succulent-like plants, which need to get dry before watering. So how you can propagate this plant? Of course, you see that here I have cuttings, and these are basically in water, growing roots in water. These are ready to be planted already. So one of the methods is, of course, to just have cuttings, put them in water, wait a little bit, just a week, and then you will have those roots. But basically, it's also, you can just have the cuttings and also plant them directly in the soil. They will grow immediately in the soil. So you don't really have to plant them or put them first in water to grow roots, but they can definitely grow roots either in water or in the soil directly. Besides that, what I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to make more cuttings and propagate them even more. And here you see that the string of hearts is growing basically on the strings, so to say, and then it has pair of leaves that grow parallel to each other. So, and this is one of the ways how you can actually propagate them. So you can make the cuttings which will have just 2 leaves. So for example, this one I will just cut a little bit, maybe leaving like this cutting, this small cutting. This will be already enough, and I will not have just 2 leaves here, just 4, because these 2 are a little bit small. And this one as well. Let me continue from here. Basically, you just need sharp scissors, and you just cut them like this. By the way, if you will see that the strings are a little bit long between the nodes, you can easily cut this because you don't really need them. If your cutting has a string which is, or a stem basically, which is as short as this one, that's already perfectly fine. All right. So you don't really need, let's say, see, this one will be quite long if we would cut it this way, but you don't really need this long, stem here. So we will just cut it and leave it, oops, just like this. This is a perfect cutting for our propagation. Let's just continue. And while I'm doing this, it will be basically the same way. But while I'm doing this, I would like to also tell you a little bit about care tips, care conditions. Let's start from the light. And as for the light, these plants like indirect sunlight, but it should be very bright indirect sunlight, which means that you can grow them very close to the window. But they can also see a little bit of sun, which is, let's say, the morning sun or the evening sun, but not directly, this burning, very strong sunlight. So under the direct sunlight, they may be a little bit damaged. But if they see a little bit of sun and grow in a very bright area, then the leaves will be much bigger. I think I have even posted a picture where you could see the difference of string of hearts growing in the shade and string of hearts that sees a little bit of sunlight, and the difference is huge. The size of the leaves and the variegation will be absolutely different. Now this one, it seems this one is not variegated one. So you can see that this is not a variegated one, but still a very beautiful variety, and I'm gonna propagate this one as well. I will just plant it in a different pot. Again, let's shorten these ones. Okay, as for the pot, I've already said that of course the holes are a must, and I think they will grow perfectly well in both plastic or clay pots. No difference at all. I've grown them in both, and in both they were absolutely fine. As for the watering, I water them thoroughly, but then I leave the soil completely dry before the next watering. So they can be completely dry for a couple of days until I water them. Also, just looking at the leaves, you will notice if they need watering or not. Maybe this will come with the time, with your experience, but basically from the beginning, you can just leave the soil completely dry before watering. And how to understand if the soil is dry or not? Basically, you can touch the surface of the soil, maybe put your finger in it and feel if it's, still moist or not. Or, of course, your pot will have holes and you can just, turn the pot a little bit and look under the holes under the pot to see if the soil there is moist or not. If it's dry there as well, it's definitely time to water it. But if the soil is still a little bit moist at the bottom, then maybe you should wait a little bit. This is another cutting, and then this one. This is just perfect. Look at this. This is the beautiful cutting that will propagate in such a beautiful way. The ones that are in the water, I'm going to plant them in a little bit, and I'm going to also show you how I do it and also tell you about the soil. And here's what I wanted to show you. The next method is basically these nodes that string of heart produces on its stems. Even when it's growing hanging, you will see these bumps, which are tubers actually. And even if the tubers do not have any leaf, you can just cut it. And this tuber, if you just put it in the soil, it will grow as well. So this is just another method. This one tuber will be producing new stems and new leaves, a new plant actually, quite nicely. And even in water, they will already start producing tubers. You see here, this is the tuber that will basically grow a new plant. And in these tubers, they collect all nutrients and everything they need for the proper growth. All right, so these stems we don't really need. They will not produce anything. So for planting, I'm gonna use this cactus soil. You can basically take any cactus soil, any mixture from any brand that will be already very good. Let me cut it here. And I will put this soil directly in these pots. So all these we will plant in here. And for this we can just make a little bit, a hole in this pot. And we can just put the cuttings directly in the hole and cover them. You can arrange them a little bit as you wish, of course, but I will plant all of them in the center and cover with the soil. Press a little bit, just a little bit, so that they are stable in the center. Later, of course, we can add a little bit of more soil here and water, of course. So this is our variegated string of hearts, which will just grow hanging already. And now how we plant our cuttings that have just 2 leaves. So basically what we do, we take the cuttings and we just stick in the soil, just like this. When I water, the soil will go down a little bit and the leaves will open up. The leaves should not be in the soil. Okay. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to plant them like that because the leaves are actually bent down, and that's why it's a little bit hard. But or you can also do, you can just plant them or put them on the surface of the soil, not maybe like that, but laying down like this, and press them in the soil, and then of course cover with the soil a little bit. Then let's continue with others that are a little bit, longer ones, which have already growth kind of. But here the same, we will be just putting them on the soil and pressing them a little bit in the soil. This one we can actually stick in the soil like this, but the rest will be the same. So we can do it like this. And now we can water them just a little bit because the soil is already moist. So just a little bit will be fine. You can actually also use a sprayer, and instead of watering like this, you can spray the surface of the soil. Put the cuttings now in a warmer place, but not under direct sunlight, and they will be fine. Let me show you a close-up, and of course, if you have any questions, please write them down in the comment section. Of course, share the video with your friends who like growing plants, and of course, subscribe